Hello and welcome to another episode of Motors for the Masses. And this week we have an eagerly anticipated new sports bike.
Indeed we do. The Keeway RKR 125.
Roll the intro. The RKR has been hit and miss with its release date.
But now it hits our shores with the 2019 Euro 4 version.
The Keeway uses the same single-cylinder, four-stroke, four-valve engine as the RKF, which is liquid-cooled and fuel-injected.
With 12 brake horsepower, it has 7.5 pounds-feet of torque, so 65 to 70 should be achievable.
There is a 5-speed gearbox, but we feel these bikes should be getting 6-speed boxes now.
However, with a 15-litre fuel tank, there's plenty of time between stops.
Yeah, and I suppose the gearbox issue is cost, but how much does it really cost to put an extra gear in there?
Well, that's a whole lot of development time, isn't it?
Well, they did it on my FB Mondial. I'm sure they could do it on this. Helping with the big bike look, the RKR uses a 100 front tyre and a 130 rear tyre, both on 17-inch rims. Okay, I understand that some bikes use smaller tyres to save on cost, but I cannot stand motorbikes that have a 90 rear tyre or a 100 rear tyre. It looks a bit 80s in my opinion.
Okay, you got that off your chest now?
I have.
Good, okay, maybe you can shut up now and we can move on. Right, colour options, there are 3. You can have white with grey with a bit of red on. You can have red with grey with a bit of white on.
Or you can have grey with red and white on it. 3 colours, 3 very different options. We have right way up forks on the front.
And a monoshock setup on the rear.
And it is stopped by a 260mm front disc with a triple piston caliper.
And on the rear, there's a 220mm disc with a double piston caliper and combined braking.
It's very popular on a lot of bikes these days. However, on this bike, it does actually say on the online brochure that it has a 240mm rear disc, but having measured it, it's actually 220. Like a lot of modern bikes these days, it is just over 2 metres long.
1.1 metres tall, 740mm wide.
With a seat height of 790mm. So when you sit on it, it feels pretty big. It certainly doesn't feel like a 125. It's well proportioned, well spaced. The tank is not huge, it's a good shape. So it's almost like a diamond, actually. So you're not actually having masses of tank here in the way, and nothing gets in the way when you turn. However, when you're on full lock here, you are hitting the tank with your hand, and when you've got your gloves on, that's going to be a bit closer. But how often do you put it on full lock?
It's coming out your garden.
This
or
side,
something.
not too bad. This side, you're actually touching the tank, and the switch gear is about 2 millimeters away from the tank, so it's right there.
It looks well proportioned.
It does, and it feels quite comfortable. So like so, now I'm off the bike, I'm just going to turn the steering wheel. Look how close that gets. And that side, not quite so close. It's almost as though it's slightly off. I don't know. We'll find out when we ride it, but it could just be a slight adjustment maybe in this is required on the front or the top of the stock there.
I don't think that moves.
Well, these look like they're independently screwed on, look.
Yeah, but there's a screw to the side.
There is, you're right, and I'm not quite sure how that can adjust, unless, of course, I don't know, maybe it is built that way. It's really close.
It does feel really well proportioned and it is super comfortable, but it is a bit of a chunkster at 142 kilograms. So without further delay, let's get this thing started up and out for a ride.
Right, so here we go. We're out on the RKR. Now, this actually feels really comfortable. Okay, so now let's do a pull-away test. Do you know what? That feels brilliant. Really impressed. So here we go now pulling in to do a circle. So first of all, we'll go around to the left, just put it in first and take it really slowly. Not too bad, actually. I mean, you're not going to be putting it on full lock, so it's not too bad. This feels okay. Now I'm going to come in again and do it the other way around. So here we come in. I'm going to go around to the right here now. Again, I don't really need to put it on full lock. I can do a nice circle. It's very well balanced. Not a problem at all. I can easily go around without worrying about my foot falling or anything. I'm actually really pleased with this. Oh, put my foot out slightly, but that's my own fault, that was. And that, as they say, is that. So there we have it, the RKR 125 by Keeway. Now, riding this actually feels really, really comfortable. And it's very nice to ride. This massive frontage on here is a little bit odd when you're turning the handlebars and none of that moves. But I think that is what makes it feel like a bigger bike. And the fact that you're sitting on it and it just feels large. There is one niggle. Now, one of them is the handlebars really almost on the tank when you're turning, although it's not a problem when you're riding. No. Because you don't turn it that much when you're riding. However, even though this is a 130 tyre, it still feels too small. Now, this is a full-size bike. The Hyosung GTR is a full-size bike, very similar in size, but it has a 150 back tyre. And from the back, that you saw from the angle shots we did at the beginning and from riding, I think it looks too small. I think it should be a 150 tyre on the back as well. What do you think of it?
Overall, it's quite a nice bike, isn't it? It's well designed. The shape of this tank is brilliant. Your knee tucks underneath there, really nice. It's just a great comfortable feeling when you get your knee in there. It's a great seat.
Everything feels
brilliant.
Well put together as well. All the switch gear is nice and clunky.
Yep.
It's not flimsy. Nothing feels like it's going to break off. Really pleased. And I love this key. It's really unique.
One thing I am a little unsure of is this enormous daytime running light.
Yeah. Now, that is a little bit cumbersome and a bit ugly. It looks great at night and it looks great when it's on.
Yeah.
And I think you were saying, weren't you, it probably looks better on a white bike.
There's actually one of the staff here, but yeah, on a white bike.
Okay, yeah. On a white bike, it probably looks really good. On this, it looks a bit odd when it's not switched on. But when it's switched on, I think it looks good. I like it.
Maybe someone could design a sticker to go on it that it shines through and makes it look a bit more interesting.
That would be good. Maybe the Keeway symbol to go on it, and then that sort of projects onto something. Would that work? I don't know. No,
because it's like 2 diamonds and a arrow thing. I don't know. Do something with it.
Well, let's get on to price.
Yes.
It is £2,599 on the road with a 2-year parts and labour warranty. And I think that is really well priced, especially when you consider the alternatives out there like the Honda CBR.
Yeah, the Yamaha YZF.
The Haisung GTR even.
Yeah, the KTM RC.
And the new Suzuki GSXR.
Yeah.
GSXR?
Close enough.
Like R, but...
Yeah. Go with that.
Yeah. They are knocking on £3,500 up to £4,500. So for £2,500 grand, you can get this one. And I think it rides superbly. OK, it's only got 12 brake horsepower and not 15 brake horsepower. But I don't think it's a lot of difference, you know.
I don't think you'll notice much with that.
Not really, no. So there we have it, the Keeway RKR 125, a superb contender for all that other stuff at the expensive end of the scale.
Absolutely.
Now, before we finish today, we want to bring you onto something we desperately need to talk about. Now, what we'd love to do is to build more bikes and give them away to you. And there's only one real way we can do that. Now, everything we do and all the money we have goes back into this channel. Now, you've heard of Patreon, and a lot of people use it as a money-making exercise. We don't want to do that. What we'd like to do is to have your help. If you could just donate $1 a month, and we can get maybe 1,000 people to be donators out of our 11,000 and growing everyday subscribers.
Yeah.
We could use that money to build more bikes and then give them away to one of our patrons. That would be fantastic. That's what we'd love to do.
Yeah.
So if you could do that, that'd be awesome. If you can't, then any support is great. If you like the video, then like it. If you dislike it, then dislike it. So be it.
If you want to comment, please do make a comment. Absolutely.
We listen to feedback. You know, we've made some changes based on what you've said. Of course, you know, if you call us a couple of bell ends, we're probably not going to react to that because we already know we are. So.
There's no point telling us what we already know.
Yeah, indeed. So, you know, that's what we'd like to announce. If you can do that, then great. That'd be fantastic. We already have a bobber in mind, and we know the bike we're going to use. So we'd love to be able to do that. If you can join our patronage and our patrons, then great. There'll be tiers as well. That's what you're going to mention.
Yeah, I was just going to say, at the moment there's only one option on there for $1, which is about 87 pence in the UK and probably about 90 euro cents or whatever. We're going to add a few tiers to that, so there'll be like a $5 and a $10 or whatever.
And you'll get more. You'll get T-shirts, you'll get giveaways, you'll get stickers.
Yeah.
And of course, you'll be entered into the draw to win the bike once we've finished.
That's an automatic entry as well.
Absolutely.
Same with all the other giveaways, you get an automatic entry.
So, because don't forget, the giveaway of the bikes will be for patrons only. And there's a reason for that, because it'd be the patron money that's paying for the bikes. Of course, we're still going to be doing other giveaways along the way, like we've always done. But we want to take it just that step further.
Absolutely.
So if you can, great. And there'll be a link for that in the description below.
Absolutely.
So,
please subscribe and click the bell.
Indeed. And if you want to have a look at this bike, pop along to AR Motorcycles. The link will be in the description below as well, and have a look at what they've got and this bike as well. So, all that remains for me to say is until next time, please ride and drive carefully.
But have fun.
Bye.
Bye-bye.